And welcome to another edition of Bald&Balding's A Book and a Beverage. We have our A-list celebrity, Julianna Caro, today.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, we have 5 people already at the start watching. See? Told you. A-list.
You brought everybody.
Absolutely famous, yeah.
All right, so it's our it's only Thursday, isn't it? I keep thinking it's Friday because I have to work tomorrow. So right on. It's our Friday-ish, Friday Eve edition of the show. And Juliana, Mike, do you have a drink?
I do.
That looks suspiciously coffee-like.
Mine? No, it's gin and juice.
All right, gin and juice. Okay. Dr. Pepper.
Work for this wonderful thing. So that's all I have.
And maple whiskey and Dr. Pepper. So
maple whiskey. How Vermont of you?
Well, it's Vermont and Canada makes a lot of maple too. So in deference to our Canadian friend here.
That is our
Tim
one
brought the
thing.
whiskey too.
And welcome, Nita.
Hello, Nita. How are you? You two know each other. That's good.
Anita is someone that I talk to regularly in my comments, so it's really great to see her here.
Excellent. Well, feel free to jump in, Nita. We go into the comments section quite a bit and start ridiculous conversations there, like this one. The brand, Tim, is J.H. Bard. It's actually a local distiller down here in Radford, Virginia. It's fantastic.
You're not going to start a fight and say way better than anything Canada can produce or anything like that, bro? Well,
it's Virginia maple syrup, so I already have to kind of just go, yeah, but like I'm a self-importer of maple syrup. When I go to Vermont, I have come back from Vermont with like 5 gallons of maple syrup in my car before.
That's amazing.
I don't get up there for a couple of years.
As a classic Canadian, I did grow up making maple syrup out of sugar bush, so I am an expert on making maple syrup.
Right? It's not
very
easy.
Very stereotypical of me.
So if I said sugar on snow, you'd know what I was talking about.
Oh, absolutely. The best snack in the world.
Mike?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There you go. Okay. Never mind. You don't need to know. It's a secret.
Okay.
Yeah,
in Kentucky, we just worry about bourbon.
All right. So, Juliana, tell us a little bit about what you do, because you have a YouTube show. I was going to say not too dissimilar for this, but it actually is, because I've watched some of it, and you actually do a service for people who read books as opposed to whatever we do here. So tell us a little bit about your show.
Sure. So my channel right now, it has gone through a lot of iterations. It started out, oh my gosh, I don't even remember really what it started out as. Just a vlog channel where I just would talk about what I'm reading at the time. But I have developed it into sort of 2 main things, which is book recommendations, because I like to talk about books that maybe people haven't heard of, not the super popular ones that you're seeing on BookTube and Bookstagram. And then I also, I wouldn't say share book drama, but there are sometimes, like the video I put out today, my Michael Crichton video. I don't know if you guys happen to watch that. Sometimes I just come across interesting information and facts in the book world that I don't think people know about, so I like to share that. And then the other side of what I do in the book world is I do work with indie authors a lot to get their books out there, either through Readsy or in the stores that I work at.
We'll come back to that in a minute, but
I'll be back in a second.
Sure. Mike is on a cell phone today. He lost power in his house. Okay, so he might fade in and out, but he drove to his office or something, and he's doing this on a cell phone, which he's never done before. So who knows what happens? You might end up with just me by the end of this. We don't know.
That's okay. I definitely admire his commitment.
Yeah, right. If I would have had to drive 30 minutes, it would have been, I'm sorry, Mike. You're gonna...
Yeah.
Now, Michael Crichton. So Tim McKay asks, excuse me, I'm curious, what do I need to know about Michael Crichton? And rather than let you tell him, Juliana, I'm going to tell him what you had to do to find out. So,
okay.
and this is perhaps one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard is that you had I don't mind saying this because you've already put it out on YouTube and you have
I put it on the internet,
followers, right? So
yeah,
you have some type of distant quasi-related family member who has, and correct me if I'm wrong with how this is, a room that is wallpapered in vintage porn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's not a room of their house. It is their garage, like shop. So it's a very like
that just makes it even weirder. Okay. So in this room of vintage porn, and vintage porn is just I'm going to see. We should have a counter of how many times I can get out the phrase vintage porn. You read a 1999?
1999. Yeah, it was January 1999.
January 99 issue of Playboy, because of course
magazine.
You did. And
they had it there, so I flipped through it.
Was an interview with Michael Crichton, your favorite author, at one time at least. So Tim, that's what you need to know about Michael Crichton. You need to dig up the January 99 issue of Playboy and find out what he had to say, because Juliana, like so many teenage boys, reads Playboys for the article.
I read it for the articles. And actually what's interesting is it is a special edition magazine, so I don't know if you can get them anymore. It's the 45th anniversary magazine. And then I put the cover of it in my video, but I had to blur it because what they did is they took the covers of the last like 45 years worth of Playboy magazines and shaped them into a naked lady on the cover of the 45th anniversary one. So even though it's not a naked lady, I still had to blur it because it's one of those things where when you're far away, it's very much a naked lady.
The algorithm will think it is, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So Playboy magazine is now 70 years old.
Oh my gosh, I guess so.
Right?
Sorry, just
Playboy is now your grandmother. Excellent.
Yeah. Look, there were some celebrities in that issue that are not alive anymore.
Well, you had mentioned something on your video, and Nita is right. Go watch it. It is very interesting. And unlike our videos, it's short enough to watch. You know, you don't have to invest like an hour of your life, which hooray to you.
Thanks.
But you mentioned something about the article and you wondered why. Playboy used to be they would take a lot of freelance stuff, and they paid better than almost anyone. So to get an article in Playboy, and they paid thousands of dollars. So to get an article in there was a huge deal and not easy to do. So it wasn't that Michael Crichton just went down and spoke to Playboy. Somebody probably spoke to him and did this interview and then sold that to Playboy. Because I want to say it used to be like $5 or $6 grand or some nonsense.
You know a lot about Playboy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to explain myself how I know that. It's not Playboy though. So anyway.
It was an interesting experience.
Hold up your
Oh, this one, yes. Sorry.
What's on your?
Can you recognize it? There is something written in there. Do you recognize the hilt?
No, hold on.
It's a bit small, I know.
I do, but I don't remember where from. Don't tell me.
Okay.
What's it say? I can't read the writing.
It says "Ride for Ruin and the World's Ending." That's a hint.
I don't get it.
The Rohan.
Yes.
Oh, that's where, of course.
It's Theoden's sword, Peregrine.
I was in a grocery store once, and the woman behind the till, or maybe it was Target, I forget. Anyway, she had, and I looked at it and said, "Is that Elvish?" And I think I made her day, right? Because she had something written in Elvish on her arm. And I don't think she had people, especially, people my age, who recognize Elvish when they see it. So that was very cool.
So, Ro, girl I went to school with, her middle name was Galadriel.
Oh, I don't want to try to one-up you here, but a girl I went to school with, her sister's daughter's first name is Galadriel. And she has long-ass blonde hair and the whole thing. It just, yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And can't miss telling everybody Bert is in the audience today, so that usually means we have to start over from the beginning since he missed the first couple minutes.
Yeah, he can go back like everybody else. Like EL's going to have to do when he rolls in here in 20 minutes.
Oh, thanks.
So you are not a writer, Julianna?
I am a writer. I haven't published anything. I don't. Pardon?
Why not?
Because I am currently not interested in the self-publishing route. It's too hard, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to put the time into it. I have pursued traditional publishing, and I'm very close to possibly being agented. So
really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, is it one of those things that you just can't say anything yet, or it's not actually there yet?
No, it's not. There's no agreement currently, but I have had a lot of I was gonna say luck, but not luck. I've had a lot of good reception for my manuscript that I've been querying.
And that's not difficult?
Not as difficult. Well, of course it is, but it's not as difficult financially and time-wise, because all I have to do is write the book and send it to people.
Is that really how it works, though? Is it really?
Well, no, but yes. So far, all I've had to do is write the book and create a query package and send it out to agents.
Yeah, but you have to do all the work of finding an agent and all. Yeah. I mean, you're doing a lot more work right now than any indie author has to do to this point.
I don't know. I'm
trying to reel you into the dark side here.
It's totally possible that at some point I will go the indie route as well. Because I'm in so much admiration of people that are independently published, because my gosh, it's a lot of work. And then working with indie authors on my side of it, where I'm helping them get exposure and helping them get their books into stores, it's really hard for them. And yeah.
Well, on the other hand, though, you must see a lot of traditionally published books come through your store that are immediately put somewhere at the back of a shelf, spine out, and you're in the store, right?
Yeah.
But what does that get
absolutely.
You? If nobody sees you for 6 months, you're just no longer in the store, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much true. We do, I don't know actually how much I'm allowed to talk about how like Indigo, the book chain, works, but we do returns every week. So every week they request books back and we just send them back and they're not in the store anymore. And to your point of books getting put at the back and everything, if the author's last name is not in the middle of the alphabet, nobody sees it. So my real last name starts with an A. My real last name starts with an A, and I write under Julianna Caro specifically so that if I ever do get into a bookstore, it's not going to be the first book on the shelf.
So you want to have like my alphabet now. You want to have like an L last name?
M.
Or an M.
M is
yeah.
15th letter. Mike Mollman. I am all set.
You're good. Yeah. Because you're just, if you're at the top of the shelf and it's a 10-foot ceiling, that's crazy. But, if you're a shorter person, you're not going to see the books up there. Or if you're at the end of the alphabet, you might not even be in the fantasy section anymore because they've had to take an extra shelf and shove it into general fiction. So people just don't see your books.
Oh, who knew? Wow.
Yep. And Tim McKay, one of my favorite Canadians, is also doing well.
One of your favorites.
You dropped down to one of today, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
You know how U.S. presidents always say we have a special relationship with every leader that comes through?
No.
That's going to be
We only say that with England.
Oh no, they say it with everybody.
No, we don't. There's
I thought
special.
we weren't going to talk about politics.
This isn't really politics because this is
True.
doesn't matter who it is, right? Tim's just mad because he doesn't like Tim Hortons and he feels bad about it, like he has to turn in his Canuck card. So
what? How can you not like Tim Hortons?
All right, we found something to poke. Good.
I drink Tim Hortons every day. No joke.
So what you do some indie books, and obviously our focus is more indie books here. Yeah, the snow that's coming down here. We had it here in Southern Virginia earlier today. That's crazy.
I don't have any snow.
It should be cycling weather right now, not freaking snow weather. But I just said I don't like their donuts. Great coffee. Give me a crawler, eh? Okay.
I do agree.
Just, it's a donut. It almost doesn't matter where it's from.
Oh, it very much matters.
It does.
Are you a Krispy Kreme guy like Tim?
Krispy Kreme is good. We have a local store that's the best donuts I've ever had.
Yeah, the local ones are almost always better. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Actually,
a half
I have
hour
a local
drive.
store. There's a donut store next to the store that I work at, and that's the best donuts.
Oh, that's dangerous.
So you have books and donuts right there.
Oh my God, the dream.
I know, right? I'd weigh like 300 pounds within a month. It'd be horrible. Diabetes, I'm coming for you.
Ooh. So what do you like to read, Julianna?
Books.
I like to read books. I like to read a lot of different genres, but mainly, I mean, I go through phases. So right now I'm definitely in a fantasy phase, specifically medieval fantasy. But I also read a lot of science fiction and a lot of horror. I love horror.
Nice.
What do you hate?
I hate romance. I know that's very cliche, but I really, really hate romance, even in fantasy and everything. If they're kissing, I don't like it.
Skip.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I was going to say, this is every show I do this, I will forget what it was I was going to say. It's become something I could almost script by this point. Mike, don't just sit there staring at me, man. Help me out.
See, I knew you were going to put it on me.
I can have the interview if you want.
You may have to, but while we're here, you just joined the Science Fiction and Fantasy Insiders, correct?
I did,
Yeah,
and I saw Bo in the chat, and Bo runs it. So
did you do that because Bo is you cannot say no to the man? Or was there some other
Your voice is
strategic
cutting
reason?
out, so I don't know what you're asking me. Sorry.
Take it away, Ro.
What? Could you not hear him?
Oh, you're back. Okay, yeah, no, I couldn't hear anything for a second.
He asked you, he forgot what he was going to ask you, but what I would like to ask you is, so you've joined the Science Fiction and Fantasy podcast now, right? Now, did you do that just because Bo asked you and you couldn't say no to him, or is it something else?
No, I joined because I was already in the Discord and everything, and then someone that I'm friends with on Instagram joined the team. Joey, the Dragon Reread, joined the team, and I was jealous, so I applied as well, and here I am. I'm excited.
All right, we've got let's see, John's joining us. Hello, John. And Mike Mollman. Oh my God. Who's that guy? Sound loser. Way to bring our numbers up, Mike. Well done.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
Take back what I just said about you.
I should join the chat.
What happened to Grommy in the backdrop? John, if you were here on time, you would have known. Mike is calling in from a phone today. His power went out in his house. So he is not maybe at a cafeteria in a Best Western. Okay.
No, Best Westerns have better decorating than this. They chose the absolute ugliest colors for this building so that everyone wants to stay in their off-white cubes.
They really did, actually. That's really kind of a hideous green.
It is. It really is. We call it the green room, though.
Oh, that's clever.
Clever.
I know. That's
Chemistry. So, the science fiction and fantasy thing that you just joined, tell us about that. What did you get yourself into there?
Well, as far as I know, like I joined today, so I'm not an expert yet.
What,
but
you doing research
as far as
joining, or we just come on random talk shows?
Yeah. Maybe I do. No, so it is currently the current iteration is a review website for science fiction fantasy, and they've got a great, cool team of reviewers just posting what they're reading about and giving great recommendations on books. So obviously I can see what everyone's working on right now, and there's some awesome books coming up to be reviewed on the site, and I will also be doing that.
All right. And of course you have your own she has her own YouTube channel, folks. Well, we've talked about that, but we'll put that up there so you can go link that. And she is like this close to 1,000 people on it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, don't do that, Ro. Don't do that to Julianna. She doesn't deserve it.
What?
Why? I deserve subscribers.
So Julianna, on Tuesday, Rose said, "Hey, Mike has 1,495 people on Twitter following him. Go follow him." And the next day I had 1,493. So I lost 2 subscribers when Rose. So yeah, that's why I'm saying
my fault.
It happened. It happens all the time, and especially like I lost some today from the Michael Crichton video. That always happens. So,
well, the Michael Crichton video. If anybody was a fan of Michael Crichton, you weren't.
I'm a fan of Michael Crichton. I was just sharing facts.
I know. I get it. And Mike, you're at 1496 right now, so back the hell off.
Yeah, I got 3 bots to join me. Yay!
But they count, man. There's still the number's still going up, brother. Julianna's at 933, so give her a boost. Go to the channel while you're open a new tab and go to the things there. Julianna Caro, 1L and Julianna, and hit the like and subscribe button. And if you haven't done it here, do it here as well, because why not? It doesn't cost nothing.
We can get Julianna to 980. I'm confident of that.
Thank you. That's the goal, 980.
Tim, what the hell is this? It's not even my story. It's her story. Oh, man.
Tim, you're inching up there into sole favorite Canadian territory now.
Jesus.
Probably shouldn't say that when we're interviewing a Canadian, but I don't have good sense. So.
Hey.
Somebody mentioned the Alien shirt. Is that just, do you really like Alien?
I really like Alien. My cats are both named after Alien characters.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Ripley and Jones.
That dies, or one of the ones that lives?
The ones that live. Ripley and Jones. But I gender swapped them for some reason. Yeah.
Well, they're cats. They don't care. They're pretty cool about that kind of thing, really. Mostly.
Yeah, they don't care. They've never even seen Alien.
They can lick themselves. They're fine. It'll be all right. So, whiskey. Did I mention whiskey? Yeah, I may have mentioned that.
Half this chat is going to be about Playboy and licking themselves.
Not at the same time. That would just be weird. All right. You don't happen to have a Star Trek favorite, do you? I mean, what the hell?
God.
We're down this road now.
Oh, no.
I have never watched Star Trek.
None of it?
Not except for like the Chris Pine movies, which I know people don't count those.
The what movies?
The new, like the Chris Pine ones, the new ones.
No, those are actually good. Right?
Okay. I like them.
You haven't seen those either?
I've seen those, but I was pretty young when they came out, so I don't remember.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of reruns. It doesn't matter how young you are. You can go back and watch. Oh, you watched Aliens.
But I haven't.
You haven't watched Aliens?
No, I have.
Okay. But that came out way a long time ago.
I watched the things that my dad showed me when I was a kid, and he was not a Star Trek guy, so I didn't watch Star Trek. It was Star Wars and Alien and X-Men and The Matrix mostly.
So are you an MCU?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to push nerd buttons here to see what sticks.
No, that's fine. I'm an MCU fan, but not a super fan. Like I enjoy the movies, but I don't read the comics or anything.
So the last year or so of the MCU, what have you liked? Anything?
What has come out?
So much
the most
trash.
recent Black Panther. The most recent Black Panther was good.
Okay.
And the Spider-Man video games.
We're really reaching here.
Yes. I'm trying to even remember what has come out recently.
Well, the Marvels came out recently.
That was good.
Oh, okay.
I did not see that.
You know, I tell you what. If you go into the Marvels not expecting a lot, you'll come out of it okay. It's not, Iron Man 1. It's not any of Phase 1, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay. Everybody was just lambasting this movie when it first came out so badly that you kind of went into it thinking, oh, this is going to just be a waste of my time. But it was like, I mean, it may have been, but it wasn't horrible, right?
Okay, that's good.
It wasn't like, so many other
Madam Web
reboots or whatever. I've seen that's really, really, really bad.
I think it's the worst. I haven't seen it, but I heard that literally it's the worst Marvel movie. Like,
well, it's not a Marvel movie. Well, it's a Marvel character movie, but it's a Sony movie, so it's going to suck right there, generally, because they can't.
What are you saying about the original Spider-Mans?
But yeah, there's these sites on YouTube where these guys will do like kind of reviews of the movies, like CinemaSins and things like that.
Yeah.
And okay, so you're familiar with that. There's another one though where they it's kind of like it's like CinemaSins, but it's not, and I forget the name of it. I'm sorry. But they went through it and it was just like, oh my God, this movie looks really, really bad. And they showed like the last 4 movies that the 2 directors of Madam Web have done. And of those 4 movies, none of them scored above 20 on Rotten Tomatoes. Right? So right away, you kind of know what you're for. Anyway. Oh, John's got a take. Let's see what it is. How bad Marvel and Star Wars is. Unfortunately, they haven't seen the good ones. Well, I think young people are pretty capable enough to go to Netflix and Disney Plus and see them all.
Am I the young person in question?
Well, in this room, you certainly are.
Clearly.
How old are you? I know we're not supposed to ask that, but you know what?
That's okay. I'm 28.
Holy hell! I have clothes older than you.
I mean, so do I.
Well, 28. Wow, 28 years ago. What year were you born? I don't want to do the math.
95. Like I said in my video today that I was 4 years old when that Playboy magazine. Just to bring it back again to Playboy, I was 4 in 1999.
Okay. I just feel like I should get my walker and.
Yeah, you should. Get your teeth in first, though.
Next time, I won't be drinking whiskey. I'll have some Metamucil, I guess. That'll be good. What when you do your book reviews, we'll come back to that. What happens if you read a book that you don't like or don't finish?
If I read a book I don't finish, I'll post on my Instagram story or something that I didn't finish it, but I don't review it. I don't think it's fair. to review something that I didn't finish because maybe it gets amazing in the parts that I didn't read. If I read something that I genuinely didn't like, I'll review it. If it's traditionally published, if it's a traditionally published book with good following, I will review something and explain what specifically I didn't like. If it's an independently published book, I will kind of just pretend it didn't exist, because I don't want to negatively impact someone's actual career.
I think that's lovely of you to say. It's a very nice kind of.
Okay.
And again, this might be a generational thing. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to do that either, right? So I don't want you to think I'm a jerk. Like,
listen, to each their own. This is my personal philosophy. So
when you use the word career with an indie writer, quite often you're not talking about their actual career.
Sure. No, that's fair. Yeah. But I mean, writing career. I mean,
right. But I use the term career as in it's paying you rent, right?
Okay. That's.
You might save them money in the long run by stopping them. I know it would save me money, but that's neither here nor there.
So, Julianna, I have a question. Do you differentiate between DNFing and not for me books? Like, if the book is written fine, but it's just not, it's a romantasy, and you're like, you know what, not for me. It's not terribly written. Do you do that, or do you just DNF and move on with life?
I don't know, because I wouldn't probably pick that up in the first place if I was aware that it was like a romantasy, for example. One thing that I do have to do, so with my work, with Indigo, when I get books for the store, I do have to read the entire book, no matter what it is. So sometimes it's a nonfiction self-help book, and I still have to read the whole thing to approve it for quality. And
for indie books, you said?
Yeah. So when I'm working,
that's kind of a good policy, though. I mean, that's pretty smart of the chain to do that. So you just really know the bosses well, where they don't give you a bunch of romance stuff?
No, I still read the romance stuff, because I'm the consignment champion is what I'm called. So people that want to have their independent book in the store, they contact me, and I do the contract and everything with them. It doesn't really go above me.
Nita here, and I'm assuming by this comment that Nita also has a channel or something where she reviews books. She says all the books that I DNF'd or heat talked about, which I think is a fantastic term, on my videos, they do better. More people watch them. Yeah, because I mean, how many times have you watched a movie or seen reviews for a movie or something? And let's go back to my the Marvels example, right? Where people just basically shit talk this movie for months, and of course I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, let's go see it," right? Every now and then that works, right? Sometimes advertising is better than no advertising, even if it's this is the worst piece of tripe I've ever read.
I mean, at the end of
so bad, it gave me what's that?
I was to say, at the end of 2023, I did 2 separate videos: my top 10 books of the year and my bottom 10 books of the year. And the bottom 10 books was a way more popular video, because people want to hear what I hated. They don't care about what I liked.
Mike, we're going to do this, man. We're going to start another channel, Mike, you and I, and we're only going to review bad books. It's the shit review channel. I think we'd do really well on that.
Are we going to ask for people to send their books in to us?
Don't do that.
No, we'll do what everybody else does. Everybody on my mailing list does, and we'll just get the free stuff. Right? Sorry. Whiskey.
So, Julianna, feel free to jump in and start interviewing us at some point, because We don't prep for this, as you might have guessed.
Well, normally
I
we're talking about people and how they're writing. Okay, you know what? We can do this. We'll turn it a little bit. You said you're not a writer, but you are looking for an agent. So can you tell us what your book is about that you're pitching to an agent?
Sure. I have 2 that I'm doing right now. So the first one is actually inspired by Alien. So it's a sci-fi horror. I haven't talked about this one in a while, so I don't really have a pitch ready. And then the other one is a Lovecraftian horror. So it's a Lovecraftian dark academia thing.
Nice.
And it's safe to say there are no love triangles in these books.
No, none.
You don't
There's some
just to be
there's
perverse.
some romance in one of them, but it's not a good happy romance. So,
hurt you to write it?
Yeah, I don't know. I still, because my dad is one of my beta readers, so I don't want to write stuff and then make my dad read it.
This is spicy, Dad. Here you go.
I would be uncomfortable with that.
You could give it to the dude with the weird room in the back of his house. He'd probably read it.
He hasn't read any of my books, actually. So.
Probably not a big reader then.
Not of books, maybe of magazines.
He appreciates art, bro.
Yeah.
He likes art. Holding it sideways. I don't get this. Anyway, sorry. Never mind. Don't tell him you were on this show. Hopefully he doesn't see it. Anyway.
He won't.
Oh, no, he won't. No. Yeah. We're safe there. He won't. He'll be all right. Well, hey, you got 2 new subscribers, Julianna.
I did. Thanks, guys.
We're here for you. Hey, Mike, guess what? You haven't lost anymore.
All right. Hey, so, Julianna, how long have you had your channel now?
About a year. I don't know the exact date I started, and then my first few videos I've actually unlisted because they're really bad. So the start date on my channel is not the real start date. It's just the oldest video that I still have up.
And Tim found your channel. Well done.
Great. I hope it wasn't hard to find.
No, see how we gave you the freaking link right there. Tim?
There's another Julianna Caro, which I didn't realize. It's completely unrelated to books. But if you just type in Julianna Caro, there is a different channel as well.
I almost tagged her in a Twitter post. So yeah.
Yeah.
How many books do you read in the course of a month?
In a month, I would say probably 10. And that's a mix of reading for fun, reading for book club stuff, and then reading books for Readsy and for my job. So it's a big mix of things.
How do you then, as a single content creator, like not single as in you're single, but a single content when you do your show on your own?
Yes.
You do it twice a week, Thursdays and Sundays for anybody who's watching. How do you ever get to like a Wednesday and go, Jesus, I have no idea what I'm going to do?
Yeah,
this week?
Absolutely. So the Michael Crichton video, I filmed it last night and then edited it and put it up this morning. So that was an instance. I try to stockpile my videos. I try to film a bunch when I have a day off and then get them ready, but sometimes I just don't. Or I have a video that, I'm going to a place to film and I can't film it in advance. So I definitely have times where I'm really like cramming at the last minute to get something done, but I still try.
See, that's when you do live shows and then you don't have to edit.
Right, exactly. That's what we do. You'll save yourself so much time. Do you take requests for shows?
What do you mean? Like topics for videos, or?
One of the first things I ever watched on YouTube a long time ago was, and I don't know the woman's name, but the show was called My Drunk Kitchen. And go look it up if you've never seen it. It might still be out there. I don't know. My Drunk Kitchen. And this woman who lived in this little apartment would just get absolutely shit-faced and cook something, right? It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I think you should do that with a book that you don't like, right? So one of those books you don't like, sit there and put down a 6 of Labatt's and then turn the camera on and do your piece about the book, right?
I could do that.
I think I'm onto something there. I think we just like tripled your subscription base.
And Nita has a question for you.
A real question as opposed to this nonsense. Will you go live if you get to 1,000? If Nita, that's very, very negative. When she gets to 1,000,
when I hit 1K,
you'll do a live.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
What?
Can Mike and I be on?
Sure.
Outstanding.
Sure. I'll have a big party.
Great.
It'll be chaos. No one will watch.
Can't wait. Thank you. Wow. I think we just been, it's the first time a guest has ever just blatantly slammed us like that.
You knew it was coming.
I meant because I'll have a lot of people.
Oh, blah, blah,
and
blah.
then everyone will be talking at once and no one will watch because it will be chaotic.
Wait, that's our shtick.
That's right. You've seen the Muppet Show, right?
A little bit. Why? I'm aware of the Muppets, if that's what you're asking me. I know who they are. Sorry, I'm reading these comments asking me about my shoes that I have right here. They're special Peter Pan shoes, so I don't wear them. They're just decoration.
Oh, I couldn't even see them on my phone.
Bo writes this comment here, says, now Rose shows violence and wants to make a channel dunking on books. This goes back to earlier in the show that you weren't here for, Bo, where we were talking about how do you review books that you don't like necessarily. And everyone agreed, including Nita in the comments, that when you slam a book, your viewership goes up. So it's not necessarily anything personal about the author, but it's just all numbers, right? I think Fox works like this. I
still maintain, though, that I would not slam an independently published book. I don't think that's nice.
On behalf of independent authors, we thank you.
Okay.
But what if it really deserves it?
I mean, if it's offensive or something, like, yeah, if it's just poorly written and something I don't enjoy, I'm not going to slam it. But if it's like disrespectful in a not entertaining way, then sure, I'll slam it.
And shots fired by Bo.
Oh man, check the comments every time. I'm sorry.
That's true, yes.
Don't mess with Bo.
Mike, I'm behalf of our guest tonight, who is Canadian, for anybody who didn't know, I'm going to put myself in a 2-minute timeout for checking. Whiskey.
I don't watch hockey. Sorry.
What? Do you watch curling?
I can't hear. Sorry, I couldn't hear you again.
Yes.
Do you watch curling?
Do I watch curling? No.
Yeah. Nobody watches curling, Mike.
Does that exist like the 3 years that it's not an Olympic year?
I don't know.
It does, Mike. It's kind of like bowling alleys in really small towns, right? I mean, no. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, all you need is a frozen lake and a rock. Yeah, I get it.
It's not just any old rock. It's a curling stone. Have some respect for the sport.
It's called the Rock.
I know it's called the Rock, but Mike was saying a rock.
Like and I have played it on a frozen pond before, so.
But you don't Okay, I'm going to let go of the hockey thing.
I'm sorry. I make maple syrup. Okay, I'm a little Canadian.
We're gonna have to give you a test. What's a good Canadian test?
Hey, I don't know, but Tobias, who is in Virginia Beach, Virginia, does curling on Thursdays.
Tobias,
Canadian.
It's Thursday today, and you're
He's
here
curling right now.
He's skipping for this interview. You chose poorly, Tobias.
Watching this on his phone while curling.
Is he one of those guys that just kind of slides down the ice on his knee? Maybe he's got it in his left hand a little bit, because he's certainly not one of the sweepy guys. Oh, okay, we've gone a weird direction. Sorry. So, what is what show have you done that's gotten the most attention?
So do you know Book Outlet, the store?
No.
Okay. They are a hugely discounted bookstore, and they're mostly online, but they had a physical store near Niagara Falls here in Canada. So I went to it right before they closed, and I made a video about how they were shutting down, and I did a huge book haul from there. Like, the books were like $1 each. And that got like 13,000 views or something. That got a lot for me. Yeah, that video blew up, which I didn't expect, and I actually hate that video, but but people like it.
Views. That's
yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Dang, I've got to start writing questions down.
So, Ro, we're going to have to start doing random shows. So Monday I'll do Bald&Balding from the Eclipse.
Don't point the camera at it, though.
I was going to say, don't film the eclipse.
Well, during totality
for it, or do you have a telescope, or what are you going to be doing?
Oh, well, I'm going to be in the path of totality, so I actually will be able to look at it for 4 minutes.
Amazing.
Totality. You're such a nerd.
Hey, I can tell you which planets are going to be coming out in which order once it gets dark. I am so geeked for this. I'm hoping the Devil Comet will be able to be seen. Probably not, but maybe. Oh my goodness, we could fill up the rest of the show with me talking about the eclipse, but we don't want to do that.
I almost do, though.
When I was, I don't remember when this was, but when Mars was traveling across the sun a while ago, like several years ago, my dad had a telescope with a solar lens on it. So we got to like go outside and watch Mars pass in front of the sun. And that was very cool.
It was probably Mercury, not Mars.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Mercury. Thank you.
Mars is further away from the sun than the Earth, so it's not going to go between the Earth and the sun.
That didn't make sense. I said Mars, but I meant Mercury. I'm writing a space book.
So
well,
I actually
you put that in just to see if people are paying attention.
Yeah, it was a test.
It drives commentary. It drives engagement.
Exactly.
So, Julianna, I'm going to have to get your dad's phone number and talk to him because I so wanted to watch that, but it was cloudy that day and I missed it. So,
sad.
It is.
Very ask him about that because that's not weird at all. You make me nervous, man. Really.
One of my favorite pictures is someone took a picture of the space station as it went across the face of the sun. And you can just see the silhouette. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do. But I'm terrible at taking photos.
Yeah, we used to go out and watch every time the ISS was passing over. Just stuff like that. I was definitely a space kid. Not so much now, just because I don't have time.
So do flat earthers believe like the ISS just kind of goes back and forth like a pong ball?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or maybe it goes underneath the Earth, kind of like, the moon landing was fake. They just do that.
Yeah, and, they do that.
Well, the party can begin now. Written is here.
Here to talk about books. Remember that? Books.
Hey, any flat earthers in the comments, let us know what you think.
Now, you said you went to this place and you did a big book haul. And
yes,
just to clarify for everybody, you do call your $2 piece a loonie?
No, that's a toonie. $1 is a loonie.
Oh, see.
The one with the loon on it is a loonie. The one with the polar bear is a toonie.
Okay. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need better money.
No, our money is ridiculous.
We always liked getting it when I was growing up. We would you could go to our grocery stores and like give them $20 and they would give you like $30 Canadian or whatever.
Yeah.
We'd always get people from Montreal down on Fridays to go grocery shopping. Like buses would pull up for grocery shopping because we took Canadian money at par. And that's when it was like 75 cents to the dollar kind of thing. Anyway, people send you books and free stuff for your channel?
They do.
Yeah? Anything good?
Yeah. I get a lot of indie books and I do try to read them all. It's a bit difficult, but I get a lot of indie books, and then I have some publishers that consistently reach out. And so Head of Zeus, I get a lot of their arcs and finished copies. And then through Indigo, through my work, I get free books through HarperCollins and Orbit. So
nice.
Yeah, I got a decent amount of free stuff.
Did anybody send you anything not book related?
Sometimes.
Like Peter Pan shoes?
No, those were a gift to myself. Sometimes in packages of books, I'll get extra little goodies and things. But it's usually related to the book, though.
Tangentially book related. No one's ever sent you
anything
mostly off the cuff weird.
I'm trying to remember. I've gotten some weird stuff because I have an Amazon public wish list. So if someone were to send me something from that, they would have my address, they wouldn't see it, but they can send stuff to my address. So I have gotten some kind of random things that are not from the wish list. That's been a little weird.
Now, what's the weirdest random thing you've gotten? Because Mike and I don't get stuff. Nobody ever sends us anything.
Nothing like creepy. No Playboy magazines, but I've definitely gotten like jewelry. I've gotten like bracelets and necklaces sometimes, and sometimes they don't have their name, so it's just from somebody. I don't know who. I received a bouquet of flowers once.
Oh, nice.
Which was nice, but also again just no name, very odd. And then, as I said before, I've had people show up to my store sending me themselves, basically.
You didn't have to explain the bouquet of flowers to anyone? No one kind of gave you the side eye, like, the hell?
No, well, I don't remember how it went. It was a weird day.
So your husband didn't say, "Oh yes, I sent those."
No, he should have. We actually had that conversation after. Because there was no name. So I was like, you could have just taken credit. He was like, ah, shit, you're right.
Don't eat any food people send you. That's solid advice.
That's a very good point, and I won't do that.
What if it's the maple syrup ice thing or whatever you're talking about earlier that you won't explain?
I don't think that would.
Dude, sugar on snow is like a snow cone, and you put like maple syrup on it or something.
You have to, and the charm of it is that you're eating it immediately in a forest. You don't eat it at home.
No, it's like scoop up some snow.
You pour maple syrup in the snow, and you put a popsicle stick in it, and then it freezes, and then you eat it.
Yeah, that's it.
I used to live in Florida. I'm against snow on general principles. So.
Well, if you're against it, it's all the more reason because you get to eat it. You can take out your frustrations on this snow and actually consume it.
No, it sounds cold. I don't like cold.
Snow is delicious. I eat a lot of snow for an adult.
My daughter actually came in this afternoon from school, and she said, "It smells like it's going to snow." And I was so proud at that very moment. Because there is a very distinct odor in the air before it snows. You can smell when it's going to snow.
Absolutely.
And she's picked that up, and I'm just thrilled about that.
That's so sweet.
When I was in Florida, I'd go out during hurricanes and open my mouth and catch hurricane water. So, you know.
That explains so much.
Because, you know, when they say stay in during the hurricane, so I, of course, have to go see what it's like. So I was actually in the eye of a hurricane once.
Oh.
Because I went out, I was like, oh, it's over. Look, the wind has died down. And then all of a sudden I picked up on the other direction. I'm like, oh, I was in the eye wall. I should go back inside.
I've never experienced a hurricane, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take snow over hurricanes. So Tim McKay said, when I lived in Montreal, and I am going to guess that Tim lived on St. Catherine Street, somewhere about a mile away from the Montreal Forum, but I don't know. I don't want to go there necessarily.
Montreal's a large city.
What's that?
I said Montreal is a large city.
It is. And it would be so much nicer if it wasn't full of people who were rude. Not all of them. Not all. As
a Canadian, I'm not going to get into that.
See, someone is smart here.
As someone who goes to Montreal frequently, I won't get
I have nothing against Montreal. Montreal's a lovely place. Some of my formative kind of memories from 16 and 17 years old was in Montreal. But there are some rude people there. It's supposed to be a bilingual province, and sometimes they just, they're not down with the bilingualness. They want you to speak French.
They don't like it when you speak French either, though, because I speak it with an Ontario accent. So they just don't want you there at all.
Exactly, pretty much, right? It's North America's France. So
yeah. I went to France and I spoke French there, but with a Quebecois accent. So they didn't like me either.
Right. Tim says, no, it's true. Montreal's a strangely rude city. I loved it there. Not sure what that says about me. I've never
it's a beautiful place. It's just
I've never been to Quebec City, but I've heard Quebec is very nice.
Quebec City is our only medieval city, so it's really beautiful there. It's a great place to visit.
We were so close. Had we just been able to take Quebec City back in the War of 1812, we wouldn't have this French nonsense right now.
I'm sorry.
You also wouldn't have healthcare, so I guess there's that.
Do I read review military sci-fi? Yes, I do. Sorry, I'm just reading the questions now.
No, that's fine. You got any favorites in the mil sci-fi genre?
I'm not super familiar with it. I would say The Forever War by, oh my gosh, what is that author's name? Haldeman. What is his first name? Joe Haldeman. I forget. But that's a good military sci-fi. But I have read a bunch of indie military sci-fi that's been sent to me through social media as well, and reviewed it on my channel a couple of times, I think.
What we didn't talk about, Mike, is Julianna. I'm going to assume, having watched your video, that you are a rather big Potter fan.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And by you watched my video, you mean the controversial Harry Potter video?
I didn't watch the Harry Potter one.
Okay.
Do you have a controversial Harry Potter? You're up to 936 now, Julia.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I do.
What's your controversy on Potter?
It's not. Oh, I don't know. I basically made a video about rediscovering my love for Harry Potter after being told that we're not allowed to like Harry Potter for a number of years now. And it was it was basically about separating art from the artist and if that's possible. And my take is yes. And I said that today in my Michael Crichton video as well. So.
And if you ever want a good example for that, to anybody who does that, Michael Jackson.
Sure.
Right? Because people still don't mind playing his music. But by God, try to find a Bill Cosby set on
Yeah.
you know, what the hell's that thing, TikTok or anything. Bill Cosby was funnier than hell back in the day. I mean, before all the raping and stuff. I'm not for that. I'm just saying his comedy back in the day was really funny, right? So you know, Aaron Hernandez was a damn fine tight end, right? Okay, he had a hobby of killing people, right? That's not good, right? Obviously, we shouldn't like that.
Yeah.
But,
well, the point I was making, the point I was making in the Harry Potter video is that it became like really cool and popular to not like J.K. Rowling, but people were still supporting people like Orson Scott Card without knowing anything about how awful Orson Scott Card is as a person.
Stephen Donaldson?
So, I don't know who that is.
Does the word Scientology mean anything to you?
Oh, okay.
Now, what was that series Donaldson wrote? This must have been back in the early 80s, late 70s.
Charles Bane.
That sounds familiar.
Or that was the first book in it. I read the first
12 book series or something. It was fantastic.
I read the first trilogy, but it was very dense, and I wasn't crazy about it. So.
I gotta look up Stephen R. Donaldson here. Thomas Covenant series.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know, but anyway, yes, your point is well founded, Julianna. I'm glad that you still put Harry Potter front and center. They were excellent books. I'm my own contention. Who's the hero of Harry Potter?
Oh, like if I had to pick one person who is the hero of Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You're going to set Ro off. I know you are. I can hear the ticking time.
I'm sure there's some nonsense answer. Who was the hero of Harry Potter?
Oh, I can back it up.
Oh, but I feel like I'm gonna forget some little detail that's gonna make me wrong.
No, it's not a little detail thing.
Oh, damn.
Just Ro is pushing his own buttons now.
Is it Neville? Because I know a lot of people say it's Neville, and that's fine.
No, he was a victim of circumstance.
Okay, then you tell me, who is the
Snape.
hero of Harry Potter?
It's Snape.
I guess so. Yeah, okay.
His character arc went from being the ultimate bad guy to being the ultimate good guy, right? He had to be a double agent the entire time.
Yeah.
His motive was pure love, right? What more do you want in your hero than massive progression as a human being and, you know, having a good foundational kind of thing to hold him by? And Harry Potter's dad was a dick.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with that. James Potter is a terrible person.
Right. So his son's probably terrible too. And he kind of was, because he kept making, you know, the other two people do all the work.
I guess so, in a way.
Neville. Nita, I get it, but I'm not going to go with Neville. Neville had that one shining moment.
After saying it, I agree. Neville is not the hero of the entire saga, but I definitely think he deserves more credit than he got.
Snape was in love with Harry's dad and was terrible to poor Harry. Let's talk about terrible to poor Harry for a moment.
Mom.
Let's talk about
mother, but yeah.
Dumbledore for a sec, shall we? Someone who was terrible to Harry and who...
Yeah, Dumbledore actually sucks. I hate Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I hate Dumbledore.
And if anybody's going to be in love with Harry's dad, it would have been Dumbledore, not Snape. So,
well, okay.
Voyager, Snape. Okay, I'm writing down your buttons here. What am I missing? Star Trek Voyager, Snape. There's one from the other day. I forget what it was now.
I like the Harry Potter one though, because it's true, right? It's when you think about, even if you don't agree with me, can you see where I'm coming from with that? Does it make plausible sense? Julianna.
But yeah, sorry. What specifically? That Snape is the hero?
That Snape is the hero of the series.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I don't like Snape as a person. I think he is a little creepy.
Oh no, the dude's seriously creepy. right?
Yeah, and I really don't like. Well, maybe it's because I don't like romance, but I really don't like the all this time, always. I hate that. Get over her. She didn't like you. But aside from
She
that,
chose the jerk instead. Yeah. And when they showed the young Snape, did that just make you think, "Wow, I dislike him even more"?
Like child Snape or teenage Snape?
Teenage.
Child Snape, yeah. I don't remember because they have him as a teenager in the 5th one, and then a child in the 7th one. I think.
I'm not saying he's perfect, but again, you don't want your hero to be the perfect character, right? They have to have a flaw or two.
That's true. And actually, something else I hate other than romance is the chosen one trope. I really don't like the chosen one trope. So that kind of makes Harry Potter not the most exciting books for me, but I do still really
love the reason they do that is because nobody ever writes story, with the exception of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. No one ever writes stories about the guys who don't really have anything to do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I get why, and I get why it's popular. I just personally don't like it.
So you would rather watch a car crash of a story with the hero kind of off. You would rather read a book about the Weasleys.
Yeah, I would actually. Okay. Absolutely.
See, and this is why we need to start a channel about bad books, right? Right here. This right here is why.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a take on this kind of thing, Mike. That's why I bring it up. The Horcrux angle made the chosen one trope fresh back when Harry Potter came out. The Horcrux was kind of cool, actually. That just, to me, that just solidified what a badass that dude was. But I want to know, how come it didn't happen every time someone killed someone? Was it something you had to think about? And if it wasn't something you had to think about, how did Harry become a Horcrux? Because he wasn't trying to make Harry a Horcrux. He was trying to make Harry freaking dead.
Yeah, I don't really understand that part. But
there's a lot that you don't. I mean, there's
explain a little bit. They explain how the Horcruxes are made, but I don't also understand how Harry just coincidentally became a Horcrux.
Right. It's a little too convenient. Nita?
You only highlighted the one comment. She's talking about the typos.
That was her comment. And then she said, reading sticky fingers. There you go, Ro.
Yeah. You only highlighted my fingers are sticky.
I don't know what comment I was talking about. I mean, that is the one I was talking about.
Because
you may want to explain yourself. See, yes, how it should have ended. Yeah, those are great. That's a fantastic series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are a lot of plot holes and continuity issues in Harry Potter.
Well, I think the biggest problem she had for me was setting it in modern day, and I understand why she did it, right? But she neglected the fact that there's the internet, right? And yet none of these kids, huh?
It's set in the 90s.
There were still computers and things. There was stuff, right? It wasn't nothing.
I know, but I'm not saying it's not like right now today.
And if you were a magic user where you could do anything, would you live like it was 1820?
That's true. Why didn't they have guns?
How come they didn't know how to drive cars and they'd be making like really cool cars? And guns is a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
But it's in England. Okay, maybe American wizards had guns. I don't know.
They'd rather flush themselves down toilets because that's the way to travel.
Yeah. Have you been in a toilet in like a British pub? Have you ever seen, what the hell is that movie?
No.
No, Ro, we have not. But I'm writing this on the list of things to discuss with Ro.
Oh, what is it? Trainspotting. Have you ever seen Trainspotting?
Oh God, yes, I have.
Would you flush yourself down that toilet?
I watched Trainspotting when I was like 10 years old.
Oh, that's damaging.
Yeah, it lives in my brain. That scene that you're talking about.
Yeah. Mike, have you never seen Trainspotting?
Never heard of it.
Well, you need to go watch it tonight.
It's Ewan McGregor. It's about heroin.
Okay.
There's a toilet scene that figures
There's
prominently.
a toilet scene.
You are really selling this.
If you've never seen the movie, my friend, it's a good film. It's really weird, but it's a good film.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have to go get something to eat.
Oh, so Julianna, we have tortured you.
Sorry?
We have tortured you long enough.
I'm having a great time. Requiem for a Dream. That's a good movie.
All these people who like watch TV and turn their TVs on and stuff. I don't get it.
I will say to David's comment, Harry Potter's magic system is disappointing though, no cost. Well, there is a cost. It turns everybody into a tool. So there's that.
Yes, whiskey is going to be required from now on, Ro.
What's that?
Whiskey is going to be required from now on before we go on.
Yeah. Imagine if I actually had enough to get me drunk. That'd be fun. I'm just happy I don't work tomorrow, so it's all good. Hey, you know, Tim, I'm the youngest of 6 boys. I have no expense, man. It's all good. I have very thick skin, and you cannot insult me. So I'm unoffendable.
And worth skipping curling for in Virginia Beach.
That bar is pretty low.
I was going to say opposite. I would say few things are worth skipping curling for.
Well, but you have to represent, right? I mean, you're obligated.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No, I will admit to watching curling during the Olympics. Right? It is kind of interesting how they can do what they do. But
I watch a lot of ridiculous things in the Olympics, but doesn't mean I need to see it again for 4 years.
I wish they'd show more of the ridiculous things in the Olympics because really, I don't care about freaking ice skating. It's
What about ice dancing?
Ice dancing
no, I don't like
is even
dancing.
worse. And anything that the points are subjective, I'm not a fan of subjective points. Right? Give me a
subjective in figure skating. In ice dancing, kind of,
Yeah, they're all subjective, right? It's like, 9. Oh, the Russians gave him a 5. It's like, gee, go figure.
It's based on rules and the specific tricks that they do. It's not just vibe.
If that was the case, then you'd have a computer and it would just score them objectively, whether or not they did the thing, right? You wouldn't need 7 people from different countries. Or they should go get people who are not involved in that at all, right? So, like, to judge the bobsledding, we have Aruba and Jamaica and, Australia and whatever. But the people who don't get involved in bobsledding, what's that?
I would watch that. Just let us judge it.
Or that,
based on
right?
what we like the best. Yeah.
So, David Jones is imploring everyone to come back Tuesday because we have a fantastic guest. I'll let you guess who that guest is.
Is that the show with just you and I?
No.
Is it David Jones?
Is it David Jones?
How did you know? Wow, you must watch all of our keep up to date on everything.
I do. Definitely.
So, and David, this is the bar has now been set, so we expect you to come and make it better than this if you can.
Hey, we're going to leave on this because this is actually the best thing I've ever seen written in our comments. And whoops, it's right there by Tim McKay. Well done. A BookTube Olympics. During the Olympics this year, we should do something like that. We could get a bunch of us. I want to say the word content providers, and I feel silly for saying it.
Creators.
Thank you. Yeah. And we can we'll each be a country or something, right? And we can put out a call for writers from those countries, and we can do an Olympics. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
It's an idea.
Tim, that's a beauty idea.
Write it down.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop it a bit. We got some time.
Okay. So, by the way, everyone like and subscribe. I did get that in. at the very end when there's no one else watching. But hey, let's see. Is there anything we should have asked you, Julianna, that we did not?
I don't think so. I think
and I
we covered everything.
I didn't even get a chance to ask what the weirdest job you ever had was, but that'll be for next time, or when we're on your party at 1,000K.
Okay, my 1K party sounds good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or 1,000K. That too.
I want to know what her weirdest job is now. You leave me hanging like that.
I don't know.
This one right now, right here.
Honestly, being a YouTuber, maybe. Kind of weird. I don't know. I don't have weird ones. I've only worked normal jobs.
Oh,
that's fair.
I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, shall we call it a night, everyone, and I can actually go home and hopefully have power?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh my gosh.
Julianna, thank you so much for indulging us for the last 70 minutes, 75 minutes. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
To all the folks who joined us, Nita, thank you for showing up, and feel free to come back on next Tuesday? Tuesday, when we have a middle of the road guest all lined up.
Yeah, you always want to insult him beforehand. That's the way to go.
Oh, he knows. Coming from a place of love. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Okay. Have a good night.
Don't stare in the sun.
Yeah, don't do that.